In the last videos, we've learned about the iTunes Connect dashboard and created an app including App ID inside the Member Center. We've also created in-app purchases and learned about consumables as well as non-consumables. In Xcode, we've created an iApp helper file which we can now use for all of our future projects. All of those templates are as always included in our Xcode cheat sheet project that you can download along with links that will provide you with additional information on the topic. Now this time we're not going to talk about what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, because I much rather want to talk about the things you should keep in mind when implementing in-app purchases. Since their introduction in app purchases are a great way to monetize apps, which are free to download. Especially games have taken advantage of this so-called free-to-play concept. In this scenario, you offer the game for free, but the player is able to buy upgrades or additional game modes or levels. But before you choose this monetization strategy, I want you to keep in mind that there has been a development of people being annoyed and kind of having a negative attitude towards the so-called pay-to-win way of playing a game. Because it basically means that you can only really be successful in a game if you are willing to spend money on it. So ideally, you want to make sure that your in-app purchases are as fair and transparent as possible. So in case players do spend money, they really get something in return, but they don't get a super unfair advantage over the free players. This can be quite difficult at times. From a developer's perspective, you do want your users to spend money on your application after all. When we go from games to utility apps, it's always a good idea to just make some features paid, but have a basic functioning version of your app for free. And another popular in-app purchase is getting rid of ads. A lot of users are willing to pay a small fee to get rid of ads, especially those interstitials, so that's always a great opportunity for you to make some money, which is applicable to most type of ads. In the last chapter, we've talked about consumables and non-consumables. There are also two subscription services that you can provide, but those are usually only relevant for newsstand apps, which is why we haven't talked about them in this course. However, if you are actually working on an app that would be a great fit for such a service, we've provided you with all of the links you need to get all of the information in the resources. Now we're done with all of the hands-on projects of this course. And I really hope you guys have learned a lot and you're ready to put your newfound knowledge to good use and turn the great apps you've created into a reliable income source. In the next part of this course, we'll do a quick recap of everything and compare paid apps to app sponsoring, and the latter being more of an option for developers that have already established the app successfully.